Apple is working on adding touchscreens to Macs in a major reversal. Mark Gurman, who else would be breaking this other than him, joining us right now. And Mark, let's just start off here. I'm more interested in the reversal because as somebody who was actually likes the touchscreen thing, I was kind of turned off by Apple products because you couldn't get it, at least not on the Macs themselves.
For over a decade now, Apple has been pushing back on the idea of adding touchscreens, right? Here's the fundamental problem if Apple added touch to the Mac, because everyone wants it. People maybe would stop buying iPads, right? Well, here's the thing. Mac sales are really outshining iPad sales at this point. Macs are performing better than ever because of their new processors and other tech they're putting in there. So Apple really needs to put its best foot forward with the Mac, and part of doing that is adding multi-touch to the screen, right? And they're planning on doing that starting in around 2025 with a new version of the MacBook Pro, which will also have a new OLED display. And this is going to be, I think, really hot for the market. People are going to want to buy touchscreen Macs. People have been clamoring for them and asking for them. But Apple's decried it, saying it's bad ergonomically. May be true. People want touch.
Yeah, they do. And aren't a lot of the Windows PCs, I mean, the Surface and, of course, all the other products that use Windows have moved on to that.
Well, let me correct you here. You said a lot. It's not a lot. Oh. All of them, right?
Oh, all of
them.
Okay.
Any laptop
That's
at this point you buy from a big manufacturer at this point, Microsoft, Google, Dell, Acer, Asus, they're all touch at this point. Apple's really the only one without touch because they don't want to compromise the iPad. But that's going to change.
Mark, real quickly, so how does this move the needle for Apple specifically when we know that the iPhone is so important to this company? How does it move it in another revenue stream?
Well, the Mac is really gaining steam revenue-wise and becoming a bigger part of the overall Apple story, or the Apple pie, I want to call it, in terms of revenue. And adding touch to the Mac will continue that. iPad sales have lagged. There needs to be something that fills that gap, and it's going to continue to be the Mac. Over time, they want to bring touch to all of their Macs. And so I think this is really big for them.
Mark, what does it mean for the operating system? Do we see sort of a melding between iOS and Mac OS?
I'm told there's no melding happening between iPad OS and Mac OS. So this is probably going to run Mac OS. iPad OS has its benefits. Mac OS has its benefits. And you'll sort of be able to do touch as well as the trackpad and keyboard. On the iPad, it'll be the same thing. Touch, iPad, you have the keyboard, the trackpad too. So it's going to be two different form factors. Same input methods for both, two different operating systems, but they're unifying all the apps, right? And that's another key thing. You can run iPhone and iPad apps on your Mac right now. You can't touch them, but you can run. You can use a trackpad and keyboard to run your iPad apps on an iPad.